Student Success. Welcome to week 2. So we made it through the first week of the semester. I really enjoyed reading your post and just touching base with those of you who were finishing or had questions. So hopefully you're starting to feel a little bit more comfortable and confident with everything, with the course in general. But as a reminder, up here under the lessons area, where it says start here, you do have that welcome video which will be there all semester long. If you had any questions about, just navigation, there's something that goes over specifically just the discussion board and email. You also have the student lounge and the muddy point. Again, those things will be available all semester long. So let's go ahead and drop down here to week 2. So you can see in week 2, we are in chapter 4. So the lecture video is uploaded in there, so you can spend some time watching the video. If you don't watch the video, I do encourage you to get into the week 2 materials folder and open up the textbook, or look through the slides, or look at some of these other resources. Essentially, just spend time getting to know chapter 4 material somehow in some modality. So what are you doing for the week? So if we click on assignments, well, actually, if we click back up here, week 2 will give you the breakdown that this is a very typical week in terms of you do have a discussion forum due by Wednesday for your weekly attendance, and then you have a few other assignments that are associated with chapter 4. So I'm going to walk through all of that. Remember, your discussion board post is due by Wednesday, respond to 2 classmates by Sunday, and then all the other assignments are due Sunday as well. So if we jump into the assignments, the first thing we need to do is the how well do you listen survey. Now, I know that technically this assignment is not due until Sunday. However, you can't really complete your discussion board without doing this one first. And this is a really quick one. So you click on it.
Now that you've read about focus lists, for each of the following questions, select the...
There we go. So you can see it's very quick. It's going to go through and it's going to ask you some general questions that pertain to like listening or note-taking or attention type things during your classes. And you'll just, pick which one aligns with you. Never, sometimes, always, true. And then once you have your kind of results or you've gone through the questions, this is when you're going to do your discussion post. Remember, you need to respond to this post by Wednesday for your weekly attendance. So week 2 attendance by Wednesday, end of the day, like 11:59 p.m. And then respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. So how you do this, here's the prompt, but you can also go into the forum through the go to topic button, my goodness, up there, but it's also right here, so I'll kind of show you both. So it says, after completing the self-assessment survey, which is what I just showed you a moment ago, answer these 3 questions. How did you do? So, hey, I'm a great listener. Oh, ooh, I have some work to do. Did the results surprise you? Yeah, no, I knew I was good at listening, or no, I'm very aware that I struggle, or yeah, this surprised me, I thought I was doing okay, whatever the case is. And then what is your plan for improvement? Now, chapter 4 talks about some things with this, so you can go back in and look and see, all right, am I going to, do certain steps? I'm going to start taking notes. Am I going to record lectures? Am I going to ask questions or answer questions, sit in the front of whatever it might be? What is your plan for improvement? So when you're ready, you'll go to topic, and then it'll repopulate the questions there. And this is where you can start your new thread and respond. So again, all of those are based off your results of this survey. You have to take this survey first, and then you go in and respond to your discussion forum prompt. So again, do that by Wednesday, and that'll earn you 100% weekly attendance, and then respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. Remember, even if you're late for the discussion board post, you can still post late and get partial attendance. All right, our next assignment is called the Chapter 4 assignment, and it is going to be a Word doc. So you just click here, and it's going to open up into this Word doc down here. And you'll see this table, and it has to do with Chapter 4 content, so listening, note-taking, and memory. So what are 2 things that you could do to improve your listening? What are 2 things you could do to improve your note-taking? What are 2 things you could do to improve your memory? When do you expect to take the action? So let's say you want to improve your listening by sitting closer and actively asking questions. Maybe you can try that in the fall, because that's the next time you'll have a face-to-face class. Or some of you are taking a face-to-face class this summer, so you can say like next week, whenever. And then how will you know you've accomplished? How will you know your listening is better? How will you know your note taking is better? How will you know your memory is better? So again, look at those 3 areas and you're going to come up with 2 actions or 2 items that you're going to do to make that area improve. When will you do those things, and how will you know you've made those improvements? So you'll go ahead and make sure you save that, and you will Dropbox it in your Chapter 4 assignment. Again, mine looks a little different because I don't have Dropboxes as the instructor, but you will Dropbox it here inside, and there's a little bit of, if you're not 100% sure, you can click on that, and this will walk you through how to Dropbox your assignments as well. All right, so then our next assignment is called the Note-Taking Workshop and Assignment. So you're going to watch this workshop video. Close that. Sorry, it is a little longer, but there's like a little bit of a delay at the beginning. And this was recorded with a live audience at the time. So there might be some, you can see like it's already started there once you get in here on the screen. So it's a little bit large. It's like, hey, this is your, so you can start to see the PowerPoints and things like that. The copy of the PowerPoint that you're going to see in that video is right down below it if you wanted to just pull that up. But the point is, you're going to watch this video and then you're going to complete the workshop assignment, which is right here. So I go right here, I hit download, and that is going to download the assignment. So you are going to do parts 1 and 2. And again, all of this information is found inside the workshop video. You can also use the workshop PowerPoint slides. If you just wanted to pull up the PowerPoint slides, you could use those as well. The first part is going to ask you to complete the outline, because the note-taking workshop talks about different types of note-taking, outlining being one of them. And so you're going to go through and just fill in where it says click, type here. You're going to click in the missing. This is like a guided outline. And so the goal is to just walk you through how the process of outlining looks. So you'll see anywhere that says click here to enter text, there is something missing. So you'll go through and fill that out. Again, you could use the PowerPoint, you can use the video to help you fill that out. Then part 2 is right underneath it. This is the Cornell notes. This is another note-taking method discussed inside the workshop video. You are going to read the article. There's a link to it right there, but it is also just right below there. You could also get it right there. So lots of places you could find that article. It's a rather short article, talks about AI. It was written in 2023, so it already is a little outdated, but it's nice for our purpose because it's not terribly long. So you're going to go ahead and read that particular article, and then you're going to, come up with your Cornell notes for it. It says to come up with 3 main points. So a question, a concept, a main idea, and then over here you'll answer the question, go more in depth with the concept or main idea, and then down here a 2 to 3 sentence summary. Okay, so when you're done with parts 1 and 2, you'll save it, and then you'll get in here and you will, the Dropbox is right underneath it, the submission area. So you will file drop your Chapter 4 note-taking workshop assignment. All right, so to recap, because I know I was scrolling all around, just making sure that you're good with everything. For this week, you are going to spend some time in Chapter 4, watching the video, looking at the PowerPoint slides, being in the text somehow. You're going to complete the How Well Do You Listen survey, which is the very first thing here. Use that to post your original response in the discussion forum by Wednesday, responded to classmates by Sunday. Complete your Chapter 4 assignment, which is this table right here over Chapter 4 concepts, and then watch the workshop video and complete the workshop note-taking assignment that goes along with it, which is what I just showed you a moment ago. Once again, this week, once you're done with all the assignments, I will reach out, send you a message and say, hey, you're good to go. And if you are confused on anything, always feel free to email me and check in and see if you missed something or if you're covered. I just want to make sure that you're comfortable as we progress throughout the course. All right, have a great week.